On this episode, we're going to review the AEW Dark Elevation with 8 stack matches that they've displayed. Also, going to review 2 past events from 2 different promotions. The first one is from New Jersey based Camp Leapfrog, once again with their latest event called Trail Mixer, which is a very unique name, and also another Ganbare Pro wrestling show. This time we have the Joshi girls taking the stage, and also some news updates regarding of what happened in tonight's episode of Raw, Kenny Omega vacating the AAA Mega Championship, and of course, huge news just came around from New York-based promotion House of Glory involving Buddy Murphy. So, let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jared here. So, let's begin with AEW Dark Elevation. First match, we have women's tag team action taking up. We got Ty J, aka Tay Conti, and Anna J taking on Whittle Nightingale and Erica Lee. Now, you probably can guess that this match will fall into favor of Ty J, and it did. As you know, I had to say this was a very impressive match because it showed much of the cohesive between both Anna J and Tay Conti, tagging in and tagging out. I like that, how they were playing that out. And of course, they won the match when Tay Conti applied one of her finisher moves. And of course, Anna Jay had one with the Queen Slayer. Next up, we have Tony Nese, the premier athlete, taking on Logan LaRue. I don't know who this guy is. But in this particular match, it was kind of impressive with Tony Nese. I know recently he was involved in watching the TNT Championship match. I hope maybe one day we'll see him challenge Sammy for that, but that's, how to say, out to be discussed. But Tony Nese is continued to be impressive as always. Next up, we got Team Taz, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks taking on Lucas Chase and Irvine Legend. You cannot deny the power of of what Team Taz has bring to the table, due to the fact that now they're expanding. When now they're trying to wait the word of Dante Martin to join them. So basically, we'll see if they do, but if not, we'll see. But it was Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks teamwork that able to allow them to win this match. Next up, we got Emi Sakura, Penelope Ford, and the Bunny, along with Mei Shiruga, taking on Ryo Mizunami, Layla Legit, and of course Layla Legit Hirsch, and of course Chris Statlander. This was a very interesting match. Now, Chris did not wanted to call out the Bunny, who we know that many times they have faced off, but Bunny had no business whatsoever. But it did give Chris Statlander a piece of mind when she applied the big back to the arena. But in the entire time of this match, Ruby Soho was there watching. As you know, Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander are involved in the quarterfinals matches. So basically, it's more like we got to see who's going to win that one. Oh, excuse me. Next up, we got Frankie Kazarian taking on Joe Keys. If you guys don't know who he is, he has done work with Ring of Honor. He was part of their dojo. But, however, it was Frankie Kazarian that was able to pick up the victory when he applied the chicken wing submission and forced them to tap out. Next up, we got the Dark Order. John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and 10 taking on Duke Davis, Gannon Jones, and Baron Black, or as Sean Dean likes to call them, the extras. Basically, this was a very interesting match. The majority of these guys are huge, but John Silver is the shortest. But this guy, he played out this character as like, don't ignore me. I may be short, but I'm bi- big enough to kick your ass, and that kind of fits into that storyline. But it was 10 who applied the Nelson lock and forced his opponent to pass out or tap out, of however they wanted to call it. Next up, we got Rio, our very first ever AEW Women's Champion, taking on Trish Adora. It was a pretty good match. However, it was Rio who did the stomp on the gut of Trish Adora that allowed her to win the match. Now, our main event was, I have to say, it was really fun. It was Serpentico versus Wheeler Yuta. Now, Serpentico, once again, was alone. I don't know where Luther is, but he had to do things himself. He cannot. It feels like he can't do anything by himself at all without Luther. But Wheeler Yuta actually pulled through when he put up that one move. I don't know what he calls it to make the finishing move, and I think it was pretty awesome. Wheeler Yuta got one for the books, and I'm very happy that he did. So I think that's it. What we got with AEW Dark Elevation. So let's move on with Camp Leapfrog. Okay, so once again, we got Camp Leapfrog. I haven't done a review from them for quite some time until this came around. This one is from their past event on September 18th, the Trail Mixer. I didn't know what that meant, Trail Mixer, but this was a very fun event, to be honest with you. They were calling out, they were actually pretending that they were in camp. Just, I thought it was fun. Now, the first match was basically we have three teams of tag teams. We have, of course, Nolo Kitano and Jana and the Whisper. That's one team. Sonny the Frog and Cornelius Krumilos, and of course Janakai and Yoya. They were all in teams, so they set them up. On one team, we have Nolo Kitano and Sonny the Frog and Yoya in one team, and then we got Cornelius Krumels, Janakai, and the Whisper in the other. Now, much of these guys were trying to avoid not to face their own partners, but they're those that did the best they could, and it kind of played out. But back to business, it was Cornelius that won the match for their team, and I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good match. Now, our next match, we got Travis Huckabee taking on Becca. Now, Becca brought a pinata, but Travis Huckabee, he's like the kind of guy that's like, screw this. This is wrestling, not a slumber party. So basically, he really took her to the limit. But fortunately, he was the one that picked up the victory when he pinned her 1, 2, 3. Next up, we got Dan Champion and Abby Jane taking on Crush Cakes, the Crusher and Pancakes. Yeah, you heard me right. Pancakes. There is a wrestler who calls himself Pancakes. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. But in this particular match, Abby is more of the by the book type of character, unlike Dan Champion, who is acting like he knows what he's talking about. He even cheats his way through. He's done it many times in the past, from what I can tell. But while Abby had her back turned and the referee didn't see it, Dan Champion used powder on Pancake's eyes to blind him, allowing for him and Abby Jane to pick up the victory. But I doubt that Abby knew what was going on. Now, our next match is CC Boots, who is the leader of the Drama Club, taking on Jet Jaghori. This was a very interesting match. Recently, from my understanding, he has been dealing with a wrestler named Max Zero, and he is part of the main event later. I'll get to that a bit. But CC Boots has proven how he's becoming more dangerous than he's ever been, and that kind of shows us that he means business, no matter what the circumstances are. Now, our next match is a championship match. It's for the Campeonatos de Ranas, which is the tag team titles First team we got um, what's his name? The main event, Jay Leon and Meadows Black taking on the outfielders. I forgot what was it. Shay McCoy and I forgot Boomer. It was a pretty good match because it showed how much the main event. But however, they're being scouted by, of course, one of the number one contenders for this match, Ryan Moody, who is teaming with world famous CB, and it kind of tells us that this guy is ready to challenge. But however, he got in the way, distracting both teams, but he was taken out completely by Boomer, no matter what he was trying to do. But fortunately, it was the outfielders that retained the titles no matter what. Next up is a triple threat match. We have Sasha Slamovich versus Blank versus Edith Surreal. Now, this particular match, anything could happen. Now, Blank is the one guy that basically tries to act like he controls everybody, but he was able to. He was able to win both matches when he pinned Slamovich while, what's her name? Lizette, um, what's her name? Where Edith was being pinned, and that kind of put up an upset right there. But however, Slamovich was not happy, took her frustrations out on Edith, no matter what took place. Now our main event, this is the Trail Mixer, which is a kind of a Royal Rumble type match. Now I don't know exactly who's who, but I can tell you who the winner is. It's the one guy that the Drama Club tried to eliminate, and that is Max Zero, and they wanted him gone to ensure he doesn't win it. But he did mention that he wants to challenge CZ Boost next month at Leapfrog, which is one of their upcoming events. That's going to be good, and I will be reviewing that as soon as possible. So I think that's it right now. So let's move on with Ganbare Pro. Okay, the last thing I'm going to review, this is from DDT Pro Wrestling's sister company, Ganbare Pro, with Joshi Pro Wrestling Youth Frenzy. This took place on the 14th of August, which is a 4-match event. Pretty good. Now, I did mention this is Joshi. Um, the first match is a tag team full of men, but we will see men involved in this particular event because they play a good role here. The first one we have is Shinjiro Tominagi teaming with Shota, taking on Yumehito Imanari and Kosuke Ishii. I thought it was a very fun event because basically from what I can tell, Yumehito, he is part of the faction known as Purple World Order, and Ishii, he's just a guy who just wants to kick your butt, and that's exactly what happened. It was Ishii who actually pulled off a very interesting power drive onto Tominagi in order to win the match, and I think it was pretty good. I like it. Our next match, we have familiar faces in this one. We got the Got to Move girls from Choco Pro. Too Much Energy, Chika Oshikawa taking on Yuna Mizumori. I thought it was a fun match, energetic, and I think it showed how much she wants to prove her worth, even though Yuna has much of the bear experience, and of course she pulled off the Superman move in order to win the match, and I thought it was pretty good. However, she showed her some respect, knowing that she hold on as long as she could. Next match, we have a mixed intergender tag team match. We have Tamu Zaki Toba teaming with Maiko Matsumoto, Shinjiro Katsumata, and Mayoka. This was a very interesting intergender tag team match. I thought it was pretty fun, and I didn't expect a whole lot. But however, it was in this particular match that it was Moika who picked up the victory, and it was pretty fun. She actually did it. She pulled it off very nicely, and I thought it was amazing. Now, our main event is Arukaze and Yuna Maz- Manaze taking on Makoto and Yu Yamagata. So this was a bit of a rivalry between Yamagata and uh, what's her name, and Manaze. And I thought it was pretty good, and it was really fun. But however, it was Yamagata who pinned what's her name, uh, pinned Yamanaze in this particular match, and I thought it kind of tell the story, and I thought it was pretty good. So I think that's pretty much what I got for all of you to review. Right now, let's talk about the news updates. Well, we got some news updates for all of you, as you know. The first one you may have heard recently, there was a fan attack after a match. This fan attacked Seth Rollins. Now, some of you probably say, what the hell is going on in this world? Well, some people take things a bit more serious, think it's the whole thing is real, and that kind of goes out in a way. But later was told there was another one. I'm like, oh my god, something is wrong here, folks. I just don't know what it is. I mean, I know we have seen like things happen like this before, but it was weird that this is happening constantly now. I don't know. It was weird in every aspect, but hopefully WWE can resolve this one as soon as possible. Next up, Kenny Omega has announced that he vacated the AAA Mega Championship due to the fact that he'll be having surgery on his shoulder, and he vacated the title. So that means there will be a champion crown in some sort of match that they put in. Um, I don't think it would matter anyway. Now this match, he was supposed to defend this match, the title in December, but however, it did not going to happen. But we can see what's going to take place from there. Next up, we have the House of Glory. They just made a big announcement. As you know, it has already been revealed that Buddy Murphy will make his debut at House of Glory. However, his opponent that he's going to face is the one person I did not expect, Cody Rhodes. And I thought this is going to be a very good way of trying to build something down the line with him. I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see at this point with AEW what they're going to do since then. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. As you know, I enjoyed reviewing Camp Leapfrog, which I think the name is kind of interesting. It got to me, and of course, we got what was it? Ganbare Pro. Once again, I enjoyed those two. Coming up, we have day 4 of World Tag League by New Japan Pro Wrestling. We even got, of course, the NWA Power, which is going to have their last show of the season before going to Hard Times 2 this coming December 4th. Um, we even got AEW with Dark. I can't wait to see what's going to take place. I've seen some matches that are going to take place, and of course, we cannot forget what's NXT 2.0, which is going to be a lot more interesting. So I'm very excited for everything that's going to take place. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.